Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today, our lecture is the continuity with the previous lecture, the speaking skills. And today, we will discuss about the sounds of the English. So, first of all, before going to start our today lectures, we should revise the previous lecture. In previous lecture, we have learned about the speaking skills. Speaking simply means the conveying the message through the words of mouth. The skill is also called simply the oral skills are the communicative skill. So speaking is a very important skill because it is the productive skill in oral mode, and it is like the other skill is more complicated than it seems at first and involves more than just pronouncing the words. And then we have learned the that we have three situations of listening, that is also called the speaking situations, the listening situations of interactive, partially interactive, and non-interactive. This is also the speaking situations. In interactive sessions, we include face-to-face conversations, when somebody is delivering when you are communicating you are with speaking with your colleague, with your subordinate, with your students, with your class fellows. This is the simple examples of interactive sessions, and the telephone calls is always the interactive sessions. Then we have discussed the partially interactive session. Some speaking situations are partially interactive, such as when giving a speech to a live audience, where the convention is that the audience does not interrupt to speech. So when you are watching the live show, this is the partially interactive session. And then we have discussed the third one, the non-interactive. Some few speaking situation may be totally non-interactive, such as when recording a speech for a radio broadcast. And now I have also told you that I am recording my lecture for you. This is also the non-interactive session. Then we have discussed the qualities of the oral communication, and it involves the integrity, that in order to build a rapport with the listener receivers, one must maintain integrity in the speech. Integrity refers to the speaking accurate and to the point. And then we discuss the voice. One should speak in a pleasant voice. It should be audible, and we should adjust our volume of speech according to the environment. And then we discuss the tone. Tone is also matter. We should not try to speak in an extra fashionable manner like a singer, or we should speak in a normal pitch when we can understand that the other person can easily understand or understood. Then we discuss the delivery. While speaking, one should have a controlled and deliberate delivery style. The normal speed of delivery should be, I've told you, the 120 to 180 words. Then the quality of the topic, and it is very important that what are you delivering, your topic, the quality is very important. It is widely said that you can fool many people for most of the time, but not all the people for all the time. So you should choose wisely what is your topic and what are you going to deliver. And number six, the enunciation and pronunciation. So enunciation means pronouncing each and every sound clearly and distinctly. So then number seven, the accent or diction. Try to speak in a neutral accent. Your accent should be breath of mother tongue, influence of mother tongue influence. Never try to extraordinary and avoid using nasal accent. Always use their right word at the right place. So don't try to speak in with your nasal. I have giving you the example in previous lecture. Then we discussed that there are number of techniques that you can improve your oral communication then you should maintain proper eye contact, try to understand the audience, and prepare the topic well before you are speaking, and define the purpose, what are you going to deliver. And there are number of rules: make speak in a practice, voluntarily participate in discussions, and read books, and listen the news channels, English news channel, listen the radio programs in English, and then try to tape your speech and continuously rectify your mistakes. And then we have discussed that there are the types of oral communication. So there are normally two types of communications: the formal communication and informal communication. And formal communication is normally and generally known as the official communication that we used in our offices, or in our corporate sector, in academic sector, in whatever the and we use in debates, lecture, discussions, interviews, and if you are conveying the message to your subordinates, or you are saying something to your boss. So this is normally the formal communication is called the official communication. And informal communication, the other all communications are called informal communication, that we are gossiping with each other, we are talking to our families, we are talking to our mother and sisters, we are talking to our friends, we are our casual gathering, our private gathering, whatsoever is called the informal communication. Then we have discussed the what are the merits of the oral communication. The merits of the oral communication, that gives you, it saves your time, it should be economical, powerful method of persuasion and control. Tone, pitch can convey the seriousness of your message. If whatever the tone you are using in your conversation, it shows you your inner self, that you are sad, you are happy, you are in a anger mood, whatever the situation may is reflect. Then when you are involved in the communication session, then it will be immediate feedback possible, and the group communication is also possible. Then we have discussed the drawbacks of the oral communication. In Besides the merits of the oral communication, there are some drawbacks of the oral communication. In case of lengthy message, it becomes a boring and difficult. Long retention of message is difficult. No validity, legal validity. We have discussed barriers and filters create a lot of problem and process. Then we have discussed how you can improve your speaking skills. You can improve your speaking skills. That your grammar is very important. You should focus on your grammar. You will quickly understand what people, if your grammar is good, you can easily understand what the other people is saying or discussing with you. You will quickly find the correct form of what you want to say, and you can concentrate on pronunciation and fluency as well, and you will feel confident if you will do with this in practice and passion. So you should also for good communication, you should improve your vocabulary. If you have good vocabulary, then you can easily speak, and you should use some dictionaries like the Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionaries. And if you can improve then it is very necessary for you to improve the listening skills. And we have discussed a lot, we have learned a lot in our listening skills topic. And if you want to improve your listening skills and speaking skills, it is very necessary that you should listen the English radio, English channels, TV, watch English movies. That is very. So this was our previous topic, and in the continuity of that topic we will continue the speaking skills. Today we will discuss about the sounds of the English. Introduction to the sounds of the English. When we deal with any language, we have to master all the four major communicative aspects of the language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. LSRW. So, this is the code that when you communicate with the other person in any language, either it is an English language, either it is any other language. So this is important thing that you should the master on these four aspects of whatever the language is, maybe that listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We are unable to speak correctly or properly, uh, confidently, and with proper pronunciation. We use language to communicate and establish relationship with the people around us. So one's pronunciation is acceptable when the listener is able to understand the speaker's content, nature, and meaning without any distortion. So this is you can relate with the upper sentence, the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. When you will be mastered, when you will be expert in four aspects of the language: listen, speaking, reading, and writing, then it will be very easy for you to understand the other person, what he is saying, and what he want to say, what he want to deliver, and what he want to communicate with you. Pronunciation differs from region to region. uh, Pronunciations, we know pronunciation differs from region to region. By being careful in speech habits, we can avoid simple mistakes. We know that English is a universal language used and spoken in different parts of the world like USA, UK, India, Canada, Australia, Pakistan, etc. And even now it is the international language of the communication. And if you go to China, and if you don't know the Chinese language, but you know the you can, if you want to communicate, to convey your message to the other person, so you find that everybody communicating with English. So now it is the international language of communication. So we know that the English is a universal language used in different parts of the world. The style of speaking pronunciation is different in different parts of the world. So when you consult the dictionary, then you find the two speakers on your when you want to search the word, difficult word, the meaning of the difficult word, and you find out their exact pronunciation, then you will find the two speakers on your dictionary. Even some dictionary shows the three speakers, like USA accent, UK accent, and Australia accent. So this is different in every part of the world, and the style is different, the pronunciation is different, but the main thing is that the language is English language. So you should try to pronunciate what that other person can easily understand, what you are conveying to the person. uh, the style of speaking is different in different parts of the world. There is nothing called the correct pronunciation, because there is no one right way of speaking. There is no one right way of the speaking, as we have discussed in earlier, that the pronunciation is different and the accent is different, but the language is the same. So try to convey the message in an understandable manner. Pronunciation is the manner of uttering or speaking words and sounds. And good pronunciation is the way of speaking that ordinary people find easy to understand. Daniel Jones defines bad pronunciation as a way of talking which is difficult for most people to understand. One should refer to a good dictionary like Oxford's Advanced Learner Dictionary or Cambridge Dictionary. We have already discussed in previous lecture and told you that use these dictionaries. No acceptable English pronunciation of the words. And dictionary gives the pronunciation of a word in phonemic symbols. It is essential to be familiar with the phonemic transcription. So, what is phonemic? Phonemic is actually pertaining to the phonemes, to the smallest units of the speech upon which language is based. It is a unit of sound that distinguishes one word from another in a particular language. For example, in most dialects of English, with the notable exception of the West Midlands and the Northwest of the England, the sound pattern are two separate words that are distinguished by the substitution of the one phonemic. So it is simply the phonemic is pertaining to the smallest units of the speech upon which language is based, and it distinguishes one word from the another word in a particular language. This is called phonemic. So basically, learning appropriate pronunciation techniques gives one the confidence to avoid common lapses and errors in speaking. A basic understanding of the sound system of the English language is very important in effective and oral communication. Pronunciation is far more than the accurate production of the individual sounds. The ability to produce individual sound both in isolation and in combination with other sounds also plays a significant role in the effective and oral communication. So this is very important. Uh, and pronunciation is the way a word or a language is usually spoken, or the manner in a manner in which someone utters the word of a language. To develop uh, proper oral communication, proper pronunciation is one of the key factors. So this is very important that if you develop the proper oral communication, then you should know the proper pronunciation. And if you know the proper pronunciation, and if you have the good grammar, and if you have the good vocabulary, then you can easily pronounce the word and communicate to other with in an understandable manner and in a very easy way. It is important to understand the sound system of English, including various aspects such as individual sounds, consonants, and vowels. So, what are the consonants and what are the vowels? We will discuss later. The production of speech, word stress, sentence stress, intonation or the variation of speech are highly essential for proper pronunciation. And intonation mean the your voice like in a music, वो जो जिसको हम क्या कहते हैं कि जी जो है ना वो सुर में कोई जो है ना वो बात करता है उसको जो है ना वो इंटोनेशन जो है ना वो कहा जाता है. सो दिस इज़ आल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट इन दिस. Actually, the consonants and the vowels are related to the articulators. I am giving you some hints before we will go to the topic of the and next slide. We will discuss properly what are the consonants and what are the vowels. It is related to our articulators, and you know what are the articulators. Our articulators are tongue, lips, teeth, and the hard and soft palate from right and left side of inner side of your mouth. These are called the hard and soft palate, and the sounds we are creating, and the word we are uttering, and the words is related to all these articulators of our mouth. So we will discuss later on. Now vowels, diphthongs, consonants, clusters. So what is diphthong? Actually, diphthong is a sound formed by the combination of two vowels in a single syllable. Like you are using you are uttering the word coin, in which the both the two vowels are used loud and and the other example is side. So it is also called the gliding vowels. So this is diphthongs. Very good pronunciation. Interestingly, there is no such thing called correct pronunciation, as we have already discussed before. The pronunciation of English varies from one country to another, and there are marked pronunciation features associated with the English spoken in important English speaking countries like the United Kingdom, United States of America, Canada, and Australia, etc. Even within the United Kingdom, there are variations between England, Scotland, Wales, and Wales and Northern Ireland. So it varies from uh, 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 different states. It vary from different countries, and it vary from uh, even if we discuss about the our language. If I am discussing about my language, my native language is Hindko, and it varies from every 10 to 15 kilometers. It varies, and what we are talking in our native language is very different to the other area, like it is oftenly spoken in our areas like in Hazara division. But when we speak in Hindko, in Abbottabad, it is very different, and when it is spoken in Mansehra, it is also different. When we the other areas of Hazara division, like some parts of Ugi or Bhatgram, they are speaking. So the dialect and the accent and the language is varies from part to part, and from cities to cities, from area to area, and from town to town. Actually, the basic language is Hindko, but it varies from. So likewise, the English language also varies, and their accent is vary, their pronunciation is vary. One particular accent called received pronunciation has come to be accepted as the standard in the United Kingdom and USA also. Thus, it is better to consider pronunciation in terms of acceptable pronunciation and unacceptable pronunciation rather than correct or incorrect pronunciation. Acceptable pronunciation is clearly intelligible to all ordinary people, whereas unacceptable pronunciation refers to a way of talking that is difficult for most people to understand. So, pronunciation means what in these lines, the actual meaning of pronunciation means that the other that you pronounce the word in a way that other people can easily understand. So this is the good pronunciation. If we talking about the dictionary, or we talking about proper way of what is in the written in the dictionary or in the books or in what Google provide you, or what the actually the native speaker talking about. So this is very difficult to pronounce the word in that very are accurate way. So it can be possible if you do in your home and everyday practice, you can make your can get the perfection and you can pronounce. But the main thing is that the pronunciation mean is accurate pronunciation means that the other person can easily understand what you are saying or communicating to the other people. In order to learn correct English pronunciation, we have to understand sounds and the basics of the phonetics. uh, Indian speakers of Indian, Pakistani or subcontinent speakers of English suffers from a typical problem that is known as mother tongue influence, and everybody is suffer from the mother tongue influence when we talking about the Pashto speakers. They also influenced by their mother tongue influence. When we talking about the Hindko speakers, when we talking about the Punjabi speakers, when we talking about the even view ever interaction with the Arabic people. If you listen the Arabic person and he is speaking in English and delivering some speech in, then you will feel the mother tongue influence is in their action. And if the Russian is speaking in English, then you will feel the mother tongue influence. If you listen or have interaction with the Chinese people, and if he's communicating with you in English, then you will feel the influence of their mother tongue. So this is uh, in every society, in everywhere, wherever you go, the mother tongue influence will always be there whenever you are speaking a different language that is not your native language. The tinge and touch of mother tongue is reflected in our speech when we utter the English language. And the tinge mean that your voice should the louder of your voice. While speaking, we must consciously avoid mother tongue influence to be understood by others. In order to do that, we should try to speak in a neutral accent. Sounds. When letters are represented by sounds in a logical sequence, it is known as a phonetics. And there is no one to a relationship between letters and sounds in English language. And as there are only 26 alphabets and letters, but the 44 sounds. There are only six alphabets and the letter alphabets and letters, but the sounds are 44. However, certain sounds sounds are generally categorized by the place of articulation, method of articulation, and voicing, while individual sounds are the most basic elements of a language. They do not mean anything by themselves. Oh, okay, dear student. Sorry, I forgot this. That what I have told you, the sound of mm, this is not the sound of na. This is the symbols of the sound of ng, ng, things. Like you are using the word like thing, something, and continuing. So this is the sound of the n sound. Is the sound of ng. So this is not the sound of na, what I have told you before. So this is the correct sound of na. So now we are going to the slides what we are discussing here. The phonetics as three main branches. We have discussed the articulatory phonetics and the acoustic phonetics, dealing with the properties of sound waves and how they are received by the inner ear. Like this is related to your sense, what you have received. So this is acoustic phonetics, and the auditory phonetics concerned with the speech perception, primarily how the brain forms perceptual representation of the inputs of received, what you have perceived and then you pronounce. So the difference is you can easily understand the difference between three. uh, the first one is articulatory phonetics, that is related to your articulates, lips, tongue, teeth, and vocal tracts when you are pronouncing the words. And the acoustic phonetics, that is related to the your sense when and the sound of waves. And the third one, auditory phonetics, that is what you have perceived and you pronounce the word. Phonetic transcription. In order to understand the sounds and symbols, one must know how to transcribe the letters, words into sound. The process of transforming letters into sound is known as phonetic transcription. Phonetic transcription can be defined as a kind of alphabetical writing in which each letter represents one sound. Each letter is the simple definition that the transcription can be the alphabetical writing in which each letter represents one sound. It is thus the writing of a language by means of a separate symbol for every sound. As the letters of English alphabet can be a poor guide to pronunciation, it is advisable to learn the phonemic symbols of English because these symbols are a reliable guide to English pronunciation. And then I will give you the task that you should learn the phonemic English symbols, and try to practice it. That's way, then in this way that you can easily pronounce. You can have the good. Then you will learn how to pronounce the word and how you will utter the word in a very accurate way. Classification of speech sounds. There are total speech, we have, I've already told you, 44 sounds in English language as per received pronunciation, international received pronunciation, and the 44 sounds, and the total alphabets are 26. These are classified as follows: 20 vowel sounds and 24 consonant sounds. The vowel sounds are further classified as 12 uh, is mon classified as classified as 12 monophthongs, pure vowels, and the diphthongs. The monophthongs are further divided into two parts, 5 long vowels and 7 short vowels. We will discuss later. I will tell you. Vowel sound. The other example, E vowel sound. E vowel sound like police, police, me, me. E vowel sound. Meeting, meeting. U vowel sound. Who. Shoe, move, move. Now, when you are speaking these vowel sound, you will see the articulators of your mouth, your teeth, your lung, whatever in it is described in the upper paragraph. Vowel sounds are articulated by the tongue, teeth, or lips. In the process of articulation of a vowel sound, the active articulator is raised towards the passive articulator in such a way that there is a sufficient gap between the two for air to escape through the mouth without friction. So, dear student, practice it at home and practice it well. The different vowel sounds like a sound, like e vowel sound, like u vowel sound, like u vowel sound. If you practice the u vowel sound, you can practice like up, like understand, like utter. So there are many words you can practice it. So when you will practice, then you will be perfect to pronounce good in a good way, and your pronunciation will be perfect, and you can easily communicate to other person that how, and you will the other person can easily understand what are you pronouncing in a good way. So now, consonants sounds. These type of sounds are produced by stopping air in the help of lips. So don't mix this. In order to produce the word pepper, our lips try to stop air from passing through while producing the sound pa, p sound, pa. Thus, the voice or breath in consonants is partially hindered by the tongue, teeth, lips, or other organs of the articulation. So, let's try in another way. And the articulators touch or almost touch and release suddenly, slowly, or hold their positions. So the uh, ba sound, we have discussed the pa sound. Now ba sound, by, by, bike, bike, bus, bus. Two lips together and release the sound when you are uh, 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 the F sound, fork, 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 from, fry, fry. So you can practice it at home, and then you will learn. And the ng song, like meeting, like talking. So are different the consonant sounds. So when you practice this, the 24 consonant sounds are classified according to the nature of construction is plosive, affricates, nasal consonants, lateral consonants, and affricatives. For example, f, the. So the nasal consonants ng, song, meeting, and the affricates, plosive. So the plosive sound is consonants in which the vocal tract is blocked is so that all airflow ceases, like tongue, the T sound, body, uh, and it like stops contrasts with the nasal where the vocal tract is blocked but airflow continues through the nose as in M and N sounds, and with the fricatives where partial occlusion impedes but does not block airflow in the vocal tract. So this is the simple definitions of the plosive and affricates sound. So the nasal sounds I've told you, and the lateral consonants is uh, and the lateral consonants is consonants in which the air stream proceeds along the sides of the tongue but it is blocked by the tongue from going through the middle of the mouth. An example of a lateral consonant is in English L is Larry. For the most common laterals, the tip of the tongue makes contact with the upper teeth. See dental consonant or the upper gum uh, consonant. But there are many other possible places of laterals to be made. The most common laterals are approximants and belong to the class of liquids. But lateral fricatives and affricates are also common in some parts of the world. Some languages, such as the language of Australia and some flaps and others such as the Zos and Zulu language of Africa have lateral clicks when pronouncing the different words. So F and V, the lip blocks the airflow in the center of the vocal tract. So the airstream proceeds along the sides instead. Nevertheless, they are not considered lateral consonant because the airflow never goes over the tongue. Uh, no known language makes a distinction between the lateral and non-lateral. So these are the very so don't go in depth of simply you go for the consonant sounds and practice it in your home. A consonant cluster is a group or sequence of consonants that appear together in a syllable without a vowel between them. For example, the word splits, PL and TS are consonant cluster, and it is important to distinguish between the consonant cluster and digraphs with which they are often confused. So the word cha, the ch sound, ts is the ch sound when you are using the word change. When you are using a change, so ts is actually there. In contrast to a consonant cluster, a digraph is a group of two or more symbols which really stand for just one sound, usually a consonant. In the word chat, the letter C and H. So TS is actually the CH appear continuously but are not a consonant cluster, even though both are separate consonants in other contexts. So in this instance, CH is a digraph because the CH sequence represents the single sound in the underlying English sound system. So actually they are different consonants, but when in this instance CH is digraphed because the CH sequence represents a single sound in the underlying English sound system when you are uttering the words like chat or like change. So now it will be considered a single word, cha cha. It can also be understood like this, that consonant cluster can only occur within one syllable. Consonant cluster are more useful as a definition when they may occur across syllable boundaries. when there are three or more consonants together, native speakers do not always produce or pronounce as many consonant sounds. For example, the final consonant cluster in the word fifth. So when you are uttering the word fifth, the hs, the last word, they oftenly miss the word like fifth, like fifth. So it's when you pronounce it, then the last word of hs is usually reduced to the last two consonant phonemes like fifths. When you are pronounce the word fifths, this is actually the fifth word. When you are in a speaking, when you pronounce it fifth, the hs is reduced. Last word. Example: dragon, dragon. So you are using the word dragon. Dream, dream. Smile, smile, smile. Strength, 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 strength. Stream, stream. Drink, drink, drink. Winter, winter, winter. And the rest, rest. Now you find rest, rest. Toasting, toasting. Rather, rather. Branch, branch. Speeches, speeches. Triangle, 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 etc. So these are the words you found. They usually reduced the last two consonants uh, phonemes. Problem sound. So this is very interesting. Non-native speakers are, in this case, Indian and Pakistani speakers of English, face problems in articulation or certain sounds of received pronunciation. Let me try to explain these concepts by giving the following example. So we oftenly follow the example. The speaker 1: did you like the test of our copy? Speaker 2: what do you mean? Which test and copy are you talking about? Speaker 1: the copy you have just now finished. Speaker 2: oh, your coffee. It tastes so well. Thank you. So here the speaker 1 is pronouncing the word test. Taste is test and coffee is copy. So you found the he not gonna speak in a way that can understand the other person. So the matter is his ear. The problem is that he can't pronounce the word exactly. Test, taste, he pronounced taste as test and coffee is as copy. So this is oftenly we found in Pakistani and we oftenly found in these are the problematic sounds. So such confusions can arise when Indian and Pakistani speak English with the various accents used in their mother tongue, because many sounds of their language may differ from the sounds of English. So you can overcome these problems and to how to speak in a proper way and how to communicate in a good way and how to utter the word and how to pronounce the word in a very good way. It need the practice. When you in your daily routine make a habit that make a rule that only speak in English and try to what I have given you the task that you should have the separate notebook, and what I have given you I will check, and this I will give you the marks on the basis of this. So this is also for the EE students that please consult with the CS student. I have given them the task that they should have the separate notebook, and what I have given you the instruction. So please consult the CR of the CS student Margoob Ahmed and what I have given you. So this is the instruction for you as well. So this is the combined lecture for EE student and DCS student. As uh, your EE student, your subject is also is this the communication and presentation skills, and so uh, please try to if you want uh, mm, to be perfect in English language, so make a habit and make a rule that in often way whatever, either you are in a writing situation, either you are in presenting situation, either you are in a communicating situation, either you are just talking, just formal or informal, try to speak in English and try to do the things in English. So practice makes a man perfect. Thanks a lot. This is for today.